When I worked in consulting, one of the things we were taught was to do something called a gap analysis. This is where we would evaluate the current or the as-is state of a business or process and envision a desired state. And we create a plan to move from the as-is condition to the to-be condition. One of the things I learned while being a consultant is that those plans were unique to the business and they were unique to the process. They're unique to the businesses and unique to those processes because each business and each process had drastic differences. They were all made up differently, had different reasons that they operated the way that they do. And I was able to think about, over the last 13 months, the gaps that I've recognized in healthcare and pay and availability of healthy food sources, all gaps exacerbated by race, class, gender, and gender identity. And yeah, those gaps have existed all along, but another thing that these last 13 months have taught me to do is to look at the gaps within myself and to be patient with myself and gracious with myself, remembering that I am unique and no one can take a template or framework, as we would call them in consulting, and lay it on top of me and say, you should be able to close that gap in a week. You should be able to close that gap in a month. Whatever is your current gap, I don't want you to look to your neighbor and compare yourself to your neighbor and how they were able to close that gap. I don't want you to look to your friend and compare yourself to your friend about how they were able to close their gaps, because their gaps are uniquely theirs and your gap is uniquely yours. I want to encourage you today to just ensure that you are working on being the best you that you possibly can be, not comparing yourselves to others. I want you to be well, I want you to be authentic, and I want you to be you. Happy Monday.